Hello and welcome everyone to a playthrough of my scenario called Tigers Lash Out at Ladoga. It's currently still being playtested, and this is in fact going to be another playtest session of which I'm going to record each round separately, because otherwise it's going to be an extremely long video. If you want to see the introductory video about this scenario, I recommend you watch that one. We'll give you some more details on the scenario, as well as another video which I already made, which contains a short after action report concerning a previous playthrough and the changes I made accordingly. For now, let's just get started. The Russians start with 10 T-34s and 6 squads, and they're all going to have to move onto the board with a move and fire, or potentially an assault action, but that is going to be too far for them to reach any of the enemy units, so that's not possible. So effectively, with a move or a move and fire action. And as you can see, hopefully it's very well camouflaged, but the Germans have already, because the Germans set up first, it's a special rule, Germans set up first, but the initiative is actually with the Soviets. And very importantly, the Soviets have 3 actions per action turn, and the Germans only 2, because they have fewer units. You cannot see the entire board because I've already zoomed in a little bit, because practically all the action in this stage of the scenario is going to take place on this half of the board. It is more or less half of the board which you see, and what the Russians need to do is they need to exit a number of units, as many as possible, off the far end of the board, which you can see at the moment for reasons I've just explained. And they get 2 points for each squad doing so, and 1 point for each vehicle doing so. So without further ado, let's just get started. And the first T-34 is going to move onto the board, and it wants to do a move and fire action. It's got 7 movement points. So if it wants to take a fire action, it's actually -2. So it can move a maximum number of 5 hexes and still fire. But now the Pack 40 that's in op fire actually wants to take a shot at it. It's got a range of 8, I believe, at least more than enough, and it's got a firepower of 10. So it's going to be 10 dice, and the T-34 has got a defense of 5. That's a lot of hits. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, and only 1 is saved, so that's heavily damaged. This was bound to happen anyway. Well, not necessarily a heavy damage, but yeah, the Pack 40 gets to fire. They do have another one, but I put it here. You can also put them closer in the front line somewhere, but yeah, it's only when the T-34s actually move onto the board that they're very vulnerable. At a later stage, it will get to use full firepower. So it can't move any further now, but of course it can still shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's normal range, but since it's now only got, because it's heavily damaged, it's now only got half its firepower against infantry, so that's 3. It fires suppressive fire at the machine gun over here. The machine gun has got 2 cover for the woods and 4 for the trench inside it. So this is a long shot, but I mean, if you don't shoot, you'll never hit anything. So suppressive fire. That's 2 hits, but also 2 saves, so nothing happens. Now we'll be doing during turn 1 a lot of the same stuff. T-34s moving onto the board, and the Germans trying to stop it with, in this case, not anymore the Pack 40, but they will actually try and do the same thing with 2 machine guns which have a normal range of 3 against vehicles, so it would have to be long range if they combine fire now. They can also hold their fire and wait and see if the tank actually wants to move closer. It doesn't need to because it can already fire now, but they do actually, which is something that previous playtests have taught me, have to keep on moving because otherwise they might not have enough time. They do have 10 full turns, and that sounds like a lot, but they will often have to traverse through woods, which have a movement cost of 3 for vehicles, so that really slows them down. But in this case, I will try to get in a bit closer, so we'll keep on moving. In this case, of course, because I'm playing solo, I know whether or not the machine guns will actually try to stop it, but I don't want to do so until they're actually within normal range. What I am going to do is I'm going to make sure that I'm only going to be in normal range of one of them and not of two, so this is where I'm going to stop. Now I will fire at it with this machine gun. It fires 2 dice and against 5 defense. 0 hits and 2 saves, and now the T-34 again rolls 3 dice against infantry, well normally 6, but divided by 2 because of the move and fire. Again against 6 defense against this machine gun. I do score 1 hit, but I roll as many as 5 saves, so nothing happens there. Let's try the same thing again. Maybe now. Don't want to bunch them up too much because the Germans have an operations card, or actually it's a regular card being used as an operations card, which allows the Germans to use an area bombardment. And even though chances of severely damaging a T-34 like that are relatively small, it can of course happen. So it's better not to bunch up units if you don't have to. So I'll move on to the board here. 1, 2, 3. I could 4, 5. Okay, I'll move over here. I'll fire with the machine gun again. 3 dice, 2 dice. Sorry, range 3, 2 dice. 5 defense again. 1 hit, but 2 saves. And now the T-34 rolls its 3 dice. So on turn 1, there is actually a lot of repetition. I'm trying to pin those machine guns or disrupt, but at least pin them so that the infantry can move on relatively safely. So that's the idea behind all this. No hits for the T-34. And now it's over to the Germans, who have, as I said, 2 actions rather than 3. So 2 actions for the Germans. What do? They have a couple of units in on fire. The mortar could fire, I suppose. So that's the first action I'm going to take. I'm going to use normal fire because I'm firing at vehicles. 2 dice. 4 is for suppressive attacks, and I'm going to target even though it's not much of a threat anymore, actually. Well, let's just try my luck and go for the biggest threat, which is spotted, for instance, by the machine gun. The T-34, which is 5 defense. It's a long shot, but let's see what happens. No hits and 1 save. This unit, I think it's still within the image. It moves back and captures these 2 command points. That's the 2 German actions. So back to the Russians, who will keep on doing what they started off doing. The T-34 moves onto the board. 1, 2, 3. It's going to move forward. In this case, this is slightly more risky already because now the 2 machine guns can combine fire, and it's within normal range of both of them. A range of 3 against vehicles, firepower of 2. So now they're combining fire. This one is the main unit, or it could be that one. Doesn't actually make any difference. So 2 dice and 1 die against 5 defense. No hits and no saves, so nothing happens. The T-34 now fires at one of the 2 machine guns. Let's take that one. Again, 3 dice against 5. Sorry, against 6, obviously. No hits, 1 save. They're not doing too well so far, but they still have 6 to go. This one, 1, 2, 3. Again, both machine guns are going to fire at it. There are 2 hits, but also 2 saves. Now, of course, it is going to try and hit the machine gun. No hits and lots of saves. This did go a lot better during the first playtest, I have to admit. 1 more T-34 to go. Let's put it over here so that it's at least further away from... Let's put it over here. Well, yeah, for that one it's long range. For this one it's close range. So now 2 machine guns fire at it. No, just 1 machine gun, I mean, with 2 dice. 1 hit, but lots of saves. The T-34 now fires at the machine gun. 3 dice against 6 defense. No hits and lots of saves. Okay, it's back to the Germans, who don't have all that much more to do, really, because they don't have that many units left. This unit could do something, but I don't actually want to do anything with it just yet. I want to wait for the infantry to enter the board. So I guess I will just put these 2 units in on fire. Let's see. Well, it's back to the D-34s, obviously. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, of course, the machine gun would fire at it here because, yeah, the sooner you stop it, the better. So again, 2 dice from the machine gun against 5 defense. Nope, nothing happens. Now in this case, the T-34 is going to target the Pack 40, which has 2 defense of its own, 2 defense for the woods, and 1 for the entrenchment. That is 2 hits and 1 save, so that's lightly damaged. Maybe I should have started targeting the Pack 40 sooner, rather than the machine gunners, although, as I said, the machine gunners certainly are in a lot of peril. Well, not the machine gunners themselves, they pose a big threat to the Russian infantry. So this one is fatigue as well. 7, why do I have 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes. Do I have 2 more to go? I have 2 more to go, which I didn't take. So another T-34. It's moving onto the board here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is actually its range against... let me double check that, but I'm pretty sure that is actually its range against vehicles, and equipment counts as a vehicle unit. Yes, it's range 6. Well, the machine guns probably would have held fire because it's out of... Well, it is within long range, but they probably would have waited for the T-34 to move in further. So, but I'm going to fire from here. It is a move and fire, of course, so only 4 dice. Normally it fires 8 dice against vehicles. And again, well, now it only has a defense of 1 because it's lightly damaged, 2 for the woods, and 1 for the entrenchment. So 4 against 4. And we score 1 hit, but also 1 save. We do need 1 more hit to actually finish off the anti-tank gun because of its fragile ability, which means that it's destroyed as soon as it's heavily damaged. 1 more T-34, and it will try the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes. But in this case, the machine guns have learned their lesson, and they will both fire at it. 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. 3 dice, but now only hitting on 6s against 5 defense. No hits, and well, 1 hit, but no hits, but lots of saves. We're again going to target the lightly damaged anti-tank gun. Again, defense of 1 for being lightly damaged, 2 for the woods, and 1 for the entrenchment in the same hex. We score 3 hits and 2 saves, which means that another hit is scored against it, and that means that it becomes heavily damaged. And as I said, an anti-tank gun is destroyed once it's heavily damaged. Let's see. Yeah, that's 9, so it's back to the Germans, but the Germans don't have any more units. Well, this one was, of course, for the anti-tank gun. Well, let me just put this one in off fire as well then. So from now on, it's going to be back to the Russians because the Germans don't have any more units that they can actually do anything with at this time. Let's see, let's put it over here. 1, 2, 3, and now both machine guns are going to fire it again with 3 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defense against one of the machine guns. Let's take that one. 1 hit but 2 saves. So actually this didn't go too well for the Russians because the infantry still has to enter and both machine guns are still in op fire. During the previous playtest, they actually did manage to to get them out of op fire. So let's see how heavy the casualties are going to be. To be honest, I wonder what the official rule is, if you can hold them back for longer if you want to. Let me look that up some other time. In this case, at least, I will just say that they do have to enter on the first round, and you cannot hold them back. I mean, let's just say they were given the order to advance, and it wasn't really an option to say, no, we'll wait a little bit. Let me first put... Let's put a squad of regulars over here. They're going to do a move and fire, I suppose. Even though, of course, they could only move 3 then and not 4. No, I'll do a regular move. I'll start here, and the machine guns hold their fire. Second move is over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's within normal range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's within long range of that one, but it's probably not going to move in any closer. Against infantry, there's a firepower of 4 and no cover. It's going to be normal fire, but no hits. So this squad of regulars gets lucky. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So it stops there. Now for a more important unit, an engineer squad. And because of the clear tank trap ability, mind you, vehicles can actually pass tank traps in this game, but they have to start adjacent, and then once they move in, they have to stop right away, and they can move off normally, but still it does hold back vehicles a lot, so it's better to have them cleared, and that's what potentially this one engineer unit can do, consisting of 1 elite and 3 regulars. So let's see what this one is going to do. It's also going to do a move. So it also enters here, and machine gun doesn't shoot, but now that it's within normal range, it does, with 4 dice, and it's again normal fire. That's 1 hit. Still not too bad. Could have been much worse. Now we're going to move on to the board with that was the engineer unit. Yeah, I thought I had a medic too, but I don't. Well, for a very important unit, a flamethrower. So again, the same thing. Normal fire, so they don't have any cover. That's 4 hits, so an outright kill of the flamethrower unit. That's not too good. 3 5s and 1 6. Mortar squad is going to enter here as well. They at least want to make sure that the machine guns can combine fire at normal range. In this particular case, yeah, it's also going to be a move, obviously. It enters here, and the machine gun is within normal range already. So again, 4 dice, normal fire, 2 hits again. This is turning out to be pretty costly for the Russians, and that's where you can see how important it is to pin those machine guns. It's not for lack of trying, they just weren't very lucky in their attempts. I do want to move it a bit further though. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You know what? The other machine gun, of course, can shoot at it. It does see it. The thing is, it's going to have to fire from 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it's even normal range. You know what? Since I'm playing solo anyway, and the Russians have already suffered pretty heavy casualties, I'll just pretend that he changed his mind and that he was only thinking of advancing any further, but he decides against it. A machine gun is going to enter the board here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not very smart, of course, because now both machine guns can combine fire, which is 6 dice and no cover. So not a very smart move, I'm afraid. And funnily enough, now they only score 1 hit. Well, you never know. They already combined fire, so now he can advance without being too afraid of anything happening to him, because this one over here, line of sight, is blocked. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have one more Russian squad, a squad of with a submachine gun, which has a range of 2, but +2 firepower as well. It's also going to enter here, and again, both machine guns are targeting it. You know what? I'm going to have it enter here. It's a little bit safer, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fire move again, or sorry, normal move. The machine gun is going to target it from normal range. One of them, 4 dice, no cover, and 1 hit. Well, it's really a shame that that flamethrower squad suffered so many casualties. It can move a bit further, of course, 2, and that one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's long range, but it does see it. So the other machine gun will fire now too. It does roll 2 6s. Unbelievable. I guess I shouldn't have pressed my luck. So 2 more infantry casualties on the part of the Russians, and that's all the Russian moves and attacks. And that also means that this unit hasn't even fired. So pretty bad start for the Russians, so let's see if they're going to be able to recover from that. First, we're going to determine control over objectives. This one is German controlled. That one was already German controlled because of the Germans starting on it. And this one is now Russian controlled. Let's see, what do we get then? Receive command and victory points. The Russians get 1 for the operations card. I hope you can see it. Let me check that. It's a bit difficult to see because of the glare, but seize the initiative at the beginning of each command phase. Receive 1 command and place it in your initiative pool. So that's what they just did, and they get 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the Germans, of course, get more of them. There are 2 more at the back, which you can see. 1 neutral one and 1 German one, both with a value of 1. But they do have 2, 4, 6. They do have 6 already, right? Am I missing something? No. 6 for the Germans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. The Russians have to spend it first because they have the initiative. The Germans could put 6 there, and the Russians could have 6 as well if they put all their 5 command on here. But even then, because that would be a draw, the Germans would still get it. So the Russians decide not to put anything there, but to use it for any potential cards they may draw, action phase cards, which they could pay for then. The Germans do buy the Artillery 88's card, which I explained earlier on. It's a regular card, a command card, but it's in this scenario being used as if it were an operations card. So you can basically use artillery and roll 5 dice if you manage to establish contact and, of course, also avoid drift. No wide blast radius. The thing is, with these cards, and that is something that not everybody has always understood, you pay for it, and then if you fail to establish contact, you don't lose it. You can use it again. You don't have to pay for it again. So yeah, you have to pay for it again. Obviously, if you do establish contact and the rest of the card doesn't work the way you want it to, then you don't use it again. What I've just noticed is that I use this. Well, I can use it at the very beginning of the turn before. I actually forgot about that during my previous playtest, but that was the idea. You can use it at the very beginning. So then you have to pay for. So I actually have to save these 4. And then I can use it before the Russians make a move. For now, I will put it here with the 4 command. Well, no, I will just remember that I'm allowed to use it. Spend command. The other 2, they're saving. So determine initiative. It actually stays with the Russians. What I could have done as the Germans, I suppose, is to actually put 1 or 2 on there, so the Russians would have been forced to spend at least something on it as well. The Russians draw a card. They draw 1 from the winter deck. It's frozen solid. Fatigue 1 enemy unit in snow terrain. So that's actually a very nice card to have, especially for when the tigers enter the board later on. And then if you can just fatigue 1, that is, of course, very handy. It says unit, so I'm assuming that also means tank units, but I guess it can get pretty cold inside a metal monster, so I'll play it like that anyway. So that is a card they have. Now the Germans will draw 1, and I will just draw 1 from the German Tank Ace, which is a custom-made deck, which I actually thought of myself. and you can download it for free on www.commandsandcolors.net. What does this card do? Place in your play area. If your ace has destroyed an enemy heavy vehicle this action turn, you may force an enemy vehicle to reroll up to 2 attack dice when it attacks one of your units. Discard upon third use, so it's called Intimidation. But of course, it's, I don't have an ace yet, but when I do, I will have this card, and I don't have it because I will still have to buy it, but it will be possible to buy it. Not the one I was hoping for, but yeah. The Germans have been lucky enough, I suppose, in this first turn. Remove tokens. Always the most boring part of the turn, if you ask me, but it certainly needs to be done. Well, the Russians did have a little bit of luck, of course, because at the very least, they managed to take out the German anti-tank gun, which is also why in this scenario I had the Russians enter the board rather than starting on the board, because then they simply could have used combined fire, or at the very least, because combined fire, there's a special rule in this scenario requiring the Russians to pay 1 command each time they want to use combined fire. It's called poor communications. But yeah, had they started on the board, they would have used full firepower all the time, and then it would have been a bit too easy to take out all those German units. And then I'm pretty sure that they would have managed to, for instance, also at the very least, pin or disrupt all those machine guns. Place units in op-fire mode. I don't think the Russians actually want to put anything in op-fire mode. Do the Germans want to put anything in op-fire mode? I left the 2 machine guns in op-fire mode, so I don't have to do it again. And all the other ones are far enough away, I would say, so I'm not going to do that. Squad transfers, there aren't any, because these 2, I'm sure that the SMG would like to receive 1 unit from the engineers, but there cannot be any squad transfers between units with this specialization. Scenario reinforcements and events, there aren't any. There will be in round 2 and round 5, which is why I put the 2 German command tokens there, or what are they? Are they command tokens? Well, whatever they are. Control markers, I guess. That's when the German reinforcements arrive, so I always do that to remind myself that that's going to happen. So we're advancing the round marker, and that concludes turn 1. So I'm going to round off here, and I will make a new video for turn 2. I hope you enjoyed, and see you on the next one.